There are 5 contenders this morning as we try and sort out which was the greatest single season by a Premier League champion. Was it Manchester United in 95-96 who had to overturn a 12-point deficit, winning 13 of their final 15 games? Was it Arsenal's Invincibles of 2003-04? Chelsea, the one that we've just been talking about, ending a 50-year wait for the title and doing so in extraordinary fashion, conceding just 15 goals all season and 25 clean sheets. Leicester, the fairy tale 2015-16 under Claudio Ranieri, 5,000 to 1 outsiders at the start of that season. Remember, they'd come from 14th in the previous season. Or Manchester City, the Centurions of 2017-18, setting Premier League records for points, wins, goals, and away wins. You can have your say on Twitter with the hashtag Sky Football Show. We'll get to some of those thoughts very shortly. But first, Jamie Redknapp, who do you think of those 5 contenders? Who stands out for you straight away?
Well, obviously Leicester. I think what they did was just incredible, not just probably in football, but in terms of sporting achievements ever. It was a team that just about stayed up the year before, and then to go and win the league the following year was absolutely incredible. With a team that was obviously had some real quality in it with Mahrez and Vardy, etc. But I just didn't see it. I remember standing there on the pitch at the end of the season. Jamie was there as well with yourself, thinking, I can't believe this. This is a fairy tale. And sometimes I still can't take it in. They did it. So that's obviously number 1 for me. And then number 2, I'd have to say, was the Invincibles. The best team I played against. They had everything, that team. Vieira, Thierry was the best Premier League player I've ever seen. And just an incredible achievement as well to go a season unbeaten.
There's another Jamie's got in touch. Absolutely no question that Man City Centurions, the best title-winning team in the Premier League era. Chef Bobby Brown says, obviously, it's Arsenal's Invincibles. Never lost. Shout out, though, to Leicester City. Pete says, bit harsh to ignore Blackburn's title-winning season. Yeah, but we couldn't get any more than 5 on the graphic, Pete. So Jamie Carragher, what do you think?
No, I agree with Jamie. I mean, when I was asked this question, I think the way I look at it is, what do I think has got more chance of happening in the future? And I think there's possibly more chance of a team going unbeaten than actually doing what Leicester did in some ways. I think the last 2 or 3 seasons, even this season, Liverpool have been on the verge or could have maybe gone the season unbeaten. I think Man City have lost a couple of games the season before. I think now title winners, I think if you lose more than 3 games now in a league season, you're not going to win the league, really. I think that years ago, it used to be 5 or 6 games. Now it's getting shorter and shorter and tighter, really. So I think every season now going forward, we're going to have someone, maybe after Christmas, and the talk will start, can they go unbeaten? Now, I know it is so difficult, but I actually think that, and also getting 100 points like City did a couple of years ago, I think is more achievable than actually doing what Leicester did, where you actually get promoted, you're fighting relegation, and the next seation you win the league. So I'd always go for Leicester, really, because it was just something that you couldn't believe would happen. You never believed. And I just feel there's more chance of the other achievements getting broken than maybe someone replicating Leicester's anytime soon.
It's a good argument, Jamie, but it hasn't been done by anyone else apart from Arsenal. You know, we were all talking about Liverpool this season as being unbeaten. Then we saw what happened at Watford. You know, it's the fact that it's only been done once surely marks it out to be an extraordinary achievement.
Mm. Did you not hear me answer, Dave? What I'm trying to say is,
been done. You're saying it's nearly been done, but it hasn't been done before.
No, but what I'm saying is, every year it's getting closer that someone may do it. It's so difficult, the achievement. It's so difficult to do. As proven, you only need to lose 1 game. But what I'm saying is, every season it feels like someone's knocking on the door to try and do that. The same with it feels like to win the league now. It used to be 85 points. Now it feels like 95. So you think sooner or later someone may get the 100 what City got. If Liverpool would have carried on this season, maybe lost 1 game, City only lost 2 a couple of years ago. This season with Jose, when we've just had Wayne Bridge on, that team only lost 1 game. So what I'm saying is teams are getting closer to actually achieving these things. Now, it's so difficult. We know that. But what I'm saying is I think there's more chance of that happening than someone doing another Leicester.
Jamie Redknapp?
Yeah, well, it's hard. Of course, it's difficult. I understand what Jamie's saying, but I just think it's the fact they went unbeaten. It was the team as well. I just thought it had a balance and quality going through it. It was so hard to play against that side. The one that doesn't get a mention on there, and I agree with Blackburn, obviously in '95 was a brilliant achievement with Tim Sherwood, with Alan Shearer and the likes. The other one that I thought was a brilliant coaching achievement was Antonio Conte for Chelsea when they started the season playing the back four. And he ripped that up after 6 or 7 games and went, right, that's it now. We're going to play a back three, the system that I know, the system that a lot of the players perhaps might not have liked, not accustomed to, because it is different to play that way. And he coached them to the title. And that was a brilliant achievement as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, a few more thoughts coming in. Noah says, I think definitely the Leicester title will win on the basis that a team fighting for safety the season before and doing it with a minuscule price tag. But I think we're bringing the partisan out in people, it's fair to say, with this debate. I mean, how is this even a debate, says Jeff, going unbeaten for an entire season, winning the title on your rival's ground? Any other contender in this discussion would have to get rid of that from the history books. It's one of those debates, isn't it? Because every team that we're talking about is exceptional. Of the teams that you played against, Jamie, what would you say was the sort of the toughest opponent, Jamie Carragher?
The Arsenal team from 2002 to 2004. That was the best team I played against, and that's including European games, really. I've said before, that was the only games I used to go into, or at times they made you feel like you couldn't really compete with them. Whether, the great Jose team or the great United teams, you always felt that, a little bit of luck you could win the game. But sometimes you play against those Arsenal teams and they were so much better than you football-wise, technically. But normally, teams who are really good technically, you might feel like you could bully them in some ways and knock them out of stride. Whereas that Arsenal team, you think of the power in that team as well. You think of Lehmann, Sol Campbell, Vieira, Thierry Henry up front. Even Dennis Bergkamp was a huge frame of a man. So they couldn't be bullied either, that team. I mean, a few years on, that's when the Arsenal team allowed you in some ways to bully them. That was the template to beat them, going direct football, second balls, really aggressive. But I always felt for those 2 years, it was on a different planet, the football he played and also the physicality and the pace of the team.
What about the Manchester United team, Jamie Redknapp, that overturned that 12-point deficit? And you were right involved in that battle as well.
Yeah, fantastic team. And I always think about the midfield, with Beckham, Scholes, Keane and Giggs. That had a bit of everything, didn't it? You had Ryan Giggs marauding down the left wing and causing havoc, and then you had a lovely balance in midfield with Keane and Scholes. It was so difficult to play against. And I think with that team as well, the options it had to come off the bench, it was unbelievable. You'd think, well, we've done okay here. We've kept these quiet, and all of a sudden they'll bring on a couple of brilliant subs that could make a huge difference as well. And it was just, it had a really good balance to the team and winners. And also the manager played a huge part as well. I mean, he used to he'd bully other referees, other managers. He'd dictate how long was going to be played afterwards. He had such an influence on matches. Make no mistake about it.
The sad thing was, Jamie Carragher, we might have been talking about this Liverpool team in a few weeks' time as well. The records they were piling up. Who knows how many points they might still end up. There's so much uncertainty still around it.
Yeah, it is. Listen, we've spoken a lot about this and how the season will go and different things. But I think even if the season did continue, not just Liverpool, I think every league, or whether you got promoted or you made the Champions League, I think the moment of actually celebrating anything is really gone. Really, whether Liverpool are given the league, as I said, or the league carries on, that special moment you always want as a player, that moment when you think, yes, we've won it, I think it's gone. And I think it'd be very difficult to celebrate anything in the circumstances, and rightly so. So that's probably disappointing more than anything for the players involved, really, because it would be special for them to be the team who, brought the title home for Liverpool. But as I said, I think there's a meeting at the Premier League tomorrow, and there'll be maybe another meeting in a couple of weeks. And sooner or later, we'll know exactly what's going to happen going forward.